Hey! That's my line! I'm the one who decides when it's voting time!
Oh, come on. No one's gonna figure out the truth. Let's just vote already. This won't be a problem, right, Monokuma? Because you know who the culprit is, don't you? Just like you always do.
Huh? Yes! Of course!
Yeah? What kind of a reaction is that?
The culprit, you say? Yes! Of course I know!
Why do you seem so flustered?
Flustered? Me? What are you talking about?
Monokuma, do you not know who the culprit is either?
Huh? Oh, what do you mean I don't know? What don't I know, huh?
You don't know, do you?
What does this mean? Why doesn't Monokuma know who the culprit is?
Yes, that's it! So that's what Kokichi's real objective was!
Huh? What are you talking about?
Kokichi wasn't just trying to commit a murder that we couldn't figure out. He was trying to commit a murder that Monokuma couldn't figure out either.
A murder Monokuma couldn't figure out?
What's the point of that? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma.
But consider how many elements of this case would be cleared up. Prior to this case, Monokuma always knew the specific details of each crime, correct? That must mean that he was using some way of monitoring us.
Perhaps there are hidden cameras, strategically placed to avoid our detection.
I can't say for certain, but he must be keeping watch somehow. Kokichi probably used the electrobomb to scramble whatever that was. The electrobomb would prevent any cameras from sending video wirelessly.
Which means it wouldn't matter where the surveillance cameras were hidden.
Like I said, what's the point? Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
Before we determine that for sure, I want to make one thing clear. If the objective were to create a crime that would stump Monokuma, the exosols... Yes, the exosols weren't protecting Monokuma. They were... That's it! They were watching Monokuma.
Watching him?
Yes. Remember what Monokuma said earlier in the investigation? If they were protecting him like bodyguards, they wouldn't have been facing him. They would have been scanning the area, watching us. But they weren't. That implies that they weren't watching us. They were watching him. They were trying to make sure that Monokuma wouldn't go near the crime scene.
That reminds me. Before I stole an exosol, all 4 units were focused on Monokuma. That's why when I stole one to enter the hangar, the other 3 didn't pursue me.
So Monokuma must have been talking about Maki. She didn't want to share that information because it would have linked her to the murder. In which case, it could only be Maki.
You're right.
So to summarize this discussion, Kokichi used the electro bomb in the hangar and the exosols to watch Monokuma, thereby creating a scenario in which Monokuma has no idea who the culprit is?
I told you there's no point! Kokichi's the one who's controlling Monokuma!
No, Kokichi might not be controlling Monokuma at all.
What?
But Kokichi's the mastermind, right? Shouldn't he be controlling Monokuma?
Kokichi might not be the mastermind.
What?
Remember that the only reason we think that is because Kokichi told us. Monokuma hasn't said a word about that. It's possible that Kokichi is just lying to us.
No way I lied! I'm definitely controlling Monokuma. The mastermind of the killing game is totally me. The one who pitted humanity's last survivors against each other is... all me, baby.
Right. He's a remnant of despair. How'd we forget that?
But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the mastermind.
Well, I guess. But is that really possible?
Well, Monokuma?
I can't answer that without causing problems, because I gotta run this trial fair and square.
Even more reason to give us the answer. If you don't tell us the truth right now, you'll be an accomplice to Kokichi's lies. Does that sound like a fair game? Would you say this class trial is fair?
Yeah, tell us! Is Kokichi the real mastermind or not?
No need to think about it. You're being way too forward, you know.
Aren't you normally the forward one? I mean, I don't mind, because that's probably part of your strategy, too. But in the interest of fairness, I suppose it's time to tell the truth. Unlike the lies you love so much, the truth should be impartial to everyone.
And what is that truth?
I'm not being controlled by Kokichi, because he's not the mastermind.
Is that really true?
Kokichi was just messing with you. I never once said he was the mastermind.
Then it was all Kokichi's lie?
Yeah, that is what that would mean. With the key from the last motive, he was the first to learn the truth of the outside world. Based on his deductions, he fabricated a lie to make you all think he was the mastermind.
I see. Kokichi's own deductions.
His deductions got a lot of details right, though. Pretty impressive, honestly.
But what about the exosols? If Kokichi wasn't the mastermind, how'd he control them so easily?
He just used Mew's remote control, right?
So the remote that Kokichi was using was made by Mew?
Oh, you didn't know? Mew not only invented the electro bomb and the electro hammer, she also made a remote control that can hijack any electronic device. Kokichi just slapped a receiver on each of the exosols and took them for a spin.
Hey, isn't it a bit unfair to tell them all that?
Fairness has nothing to do with it. I offered up that info purely out of spite. spite towards you for trying to usurp the mastermind's role and take over the game.
Well, whatever. It's way more interesting to defeat an enemy who plays dirty anyway.
What's going on? It seems like they're actually fighting.
There's no doubt about it. Kokichi isn't the mastermind.
Were we just being dragged around by Kokichi's lies the whole time?
What were you trying to accomplish by pretending to be the mastermind, Kokichi?
Yeah! Now you're gonna be all quiet? This is so frustrating!
Then if he's not the mastermind, who is?
Why are you so certain there's even a mastermind to begin with?
What do you mean?
Why, that's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know.
But I wanna know!
Anyway, this conversation has flown off the rails. Let's get things back on track. This class trial is to figure out who the culprit is, not the mastermind. So, yeah, get to talking.
I agree. Before we worry about who the mastermind is or what my intent is, let's figure out the culprit!
But Monokuma doesn't know who it is. How is he supposed to confirm the results?
We don't need to worry about that. Let's just leave the decision-making to Monokuma. But you gotta run the class trial too, so no mistakes, okay?
Are you trying to get me to do something?
You've been watching us solve all these cases, but you can't be a spectator anymore. You're gonna participate in the class trial from here on out. So, let's resume this class trial. Monokuma, you gotta use your brain too. This will be the final class trial! Me versus Monokuma!
You versus Monokuma?
When I play a game, I intend to win. But what's considered winning in this game? Beating the other players? No. Beating the game's mastermind is the true victory. And that's how I'll win! That's why I decided to challenge Monokuma! If I can deceive Monokuma till the very end, then I'll be the winner!
You're dragging us around like this? Just so you can win a game?
As I suspected, your thought process defies all logic.
But since the outside world is in total ruin, this game is the only entertainment we have. At least I can enjoy this game to the fullest and feel good winning.
You really are a remnant of despair. Your way of thinking is just chaotic.
Remnant of despair? Whatevs. Let's just get this started. If the students or Monokuma don't know who the culprit is, then I'm the winner!
Don't underestimate me, or Shuichi and the others, for that matter. It's just like a remnant of despair to try to assume control of the game. But these kids are all that's left of Hope's Peak Academy. If you think they're gonna make this easy for you, you better think again.
Whose side are you taking here?
Side? Isn't it obvious? Monokuma joins your party.
Who invited you?
Now, let's join forces and unravel the truth behind this case.
Well, we were going to do it anyway.
Let's just ignore Monokuma. His actions are always beyond comprehension.
Yeah! Let's just focus on the case!
Hey, be quiet so we can ignore you.
Now, where should we start? We've already established what Kokichi is after.
He's just gonna keep talking anyway, isn't he?
In my experience, whenever you learn a new fact, you learn something else along with it.
Yes, let's look for that.
You warmed up to him real fast. I guess you are both robots.
This is it! Let's discuss the video of Kaito being crushed by the hydraulic press. Kokichi said that he filmed that video to prove he was not the victim. But we know that Kokichi was trying to mislead Monokuma. So what about the video? It's pretty strange to present evidence that condemns you after all.
Then what kind of mistake was Kokichi trying to get me to make?
Maybe he crushed Kaito with a hydraulic press, so the cause of death would be unknown?
But if that were the only objective, there would be no need to film it. Discovering the crushed body would have been enough. No need to show us the film.
That's true.
I guess you're starting to fit in after all. If you get any cuter, I'm gonna hug you.
Huh? Really?
There must be a reason you went out of your way to show us the body being crushed.
No reason, really. That's just my twisted personality.